Ashtanga Yoga, right? And that's how he practiced Ashtanga Yoga over there. Of course, over there, the motive was different. It was, he was a Sakam Karmi, right? And he wanted something from the Lord. He was not a Nishkam Karma Yogi. He was a Sakam Karma Yogi. But being a Sakam Karma Yogi, he slowly, when he took the darshan of the Lord, he became a Nishkam Karma Yogi. And over here also, Dhruv Maharaj is moving towards actually Badrika Ashram, where he will be purifying his complete senses. And once he purifies his complete senses, then, because when you say Ashtang Yoga says Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. These are some of the ways where the Ashtang Yogi, he practices some different steps, or these are different levels. Let me just share you the white screen and on the whiteboard. Okay, I need rights to even share my whiteboard.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, you are already the co-host, Mataji.
Yeah, but I'm not able to share my.
Shall I make you the host then?
Yeah, then make me the host. Yeah, maybe.
Yes, Mataji, done, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, now I can share. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so sometimes then we need some explanation like this, so that these explanations are completely fixed into our consciousness. Okay. Then I have. So I have, this is Ashtang Yoga. And I'm going to explain the whole process of Ashtang Yoga in a very short while, maybe in a minute, maybe in 10 minutes at least. So you have Yam. Yam means you leave home and you practice self-control. Then Niyam means, do's and don'ts. That is why Dhruv Maharaj, he left home to practice what? Self-control. And then Niyam means, bathing and all do's and don'ts. Bathing regularly at a very sacred place and all. And Asan means to sit down in a secluded place and sit in a secluded place and it should be a sanctified place. That is why he took Badrika Ashram, okay? And then is pranayam. Or the chanting of the Om syllable, that is pranayam, the regulating the breathing process. Now, why do you regulate the breathing process? Because breathing actually helps you control the mind. If somebody is doing, pranayam, he is very much able to control the mind. Now, see, what is the difference between pranayam and pranayam can help you control the mind, but it cannot help you purify the mind. Pranayam can help you control the mind, but not purify the mind. Then what helps us purify the mind is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will help us purify the mind. And then is Pratyahara. I'm sorry. Pratyahara, it is actually helping to withdraw the mind and the senses from its activities. Okay, it helps you to be, fixed in one place. And then you have dharana. Dharana means you fix your mind and, fix your mind and intelligence. On what? On the Lord's form. So which form? The Paramatma form of the Lord. Okay. And then is dhyana. So dhyan means meditation. So you meditate on what? You meditate on each limb of the Lord. You meditate on each limb of the Lord, and you, without deviating from the conception of the whole body of the Lord. Okay, that way. And then you have samadhi. This is the Ashtanga Yoga process. We have seen this in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But a more detailed one is actually in the 2nd canto, 1st chapter itself only. So what we do is we completely reconcile the mind in the Supreme Lord. Okay, without any other thought. Complete, that is called samadhi. Now, what does this, dharana do? When we say dharana, okay, when I'm saying dharana, what does this dharana do? This dharana destroys the contamination of the mind. The mind is completely agitated, and that is the contamination. The mind is agitated by rajogun, and it is bewildered by tamogun or ignorance. So then this yogi, the Ashtanga yogi, who sees the Lord through dharana, then quickly achieves his goal of liberation. See, the goal of Ashtanga yoga is liberation. But what is liberation then? See, when I say death, death means actually, the finishing of the gross body. Your gross body gets finished. But when I say liberation, my subtle body, actually my subtle body is destroyed. So destruction of the gross body is called death, and destruction of the subtle body is called liberation. And this is what actually this Ashtanga yogi is aspiring for. Okay. He wants to actually completely get himself liberated as such. Now this, because see, if you see that there are two types of yogis, when you say dhyan yogi, because he is doing dhyan, he is meditating on the Lord. So there are, so in, when you have, you have a karma kandi person who does karma kand. Then you have a karma yogi person. Then you have a sakam karma yogi. Under this only karma yogi, either you have a sakam karma yogi or a Nishkam Karma Yogi. What is a Sakam Karma Yogi? He has material desires. Nishkam Karma Yogi, he does not have any material desires. Now, this only Nishkam Karma Yogi, when he takes up to Dhyan Yoga very seriously, okay. So there are two types of Dhyan Yogis. One is the person who has no material desires. No material desires? Yeah, no material desires, correct. And one is he has material desires. Okay. So this person who does not have material desires, on whom is he meditating on? Paramatma. He's meditating on the Paramatma because his goal is only liberation. He has only one goal. He has only one goal, and that is liberation. His goal is only liberation. So that's how, when his goal is only liberation, then he goes back home, back to Godhead. But there is another yogi who has material desires. So the one who has material desires is recommended that he meditate on the Virat Roop. We have seen this in Canto 2. Okay. It is just maybe a revision for you all. And see, the Virat Roop meditation is also a bona fide process. Because if you see, when Brahma, when he has to do creation and when he forgets, you might wonder that how can Brahma forget? But he is also Jiva. So when he forgets, then he actually meditates on the Virat Roop and then he's able to do creation. Right? So then the goal of this Virat Roop is he has some material desires and he's recommended to meditate on the Virat Roop of the Lord. Now, while meditating on the Virat Roop of the Lord, if he finishes all his material desires, then he meditates on the Paramatma form of the Lord. And when he meditates on the Paramatma form of the Lord, he goes back home, back to Godhead. But while meditating on the Virat Roop, if he still has material desires, then he gets Krama Mukti. Okay. So what is this Krama Mukti? This Krama Mukti is something like this. I'll shift my focus from here to here. So in Krama Mukti, this person, he goes to Vaishnavar Loka. Vaishnavar Loka means the planets above the Earth planet. Okay. And, that is the first stop for him. And that is the planet of the deity of fire, Vaishnava Loka. Because over there, then he is cleansed of all his desires. And then he goes to, so the first thing that he actually reaches, the first stop is Vaishnavar Loka. Then he goes to the next stop. When he's cleansed over there, then he goes to Shishumar planet. And over there, actually that Shishumar Loka is actually the navel of the Lord. And it is the pivot for the turning of the universe. When the universe turns, right? So it is relating with Lord Hari. So then he reaches the Shishumar planet. And then he reaches the Mahar Lok. where, you know, all these sages like Bhrigu and all live. And then he goes to Brahmaloka, where there is no lamentation, no old age, no death, and no fear. There he feels compassion for the non-devotees who are suffering over there. And after reaching Brahmaloka, if this yogi, he desires to stay until the end of Brahma's life, then he attains liberation at that time with Brahma. And but if he desires liberation, you know, before Brahma's life ends, then he pierces again those 7 coverings of the universe and he enters the Brahman. So the 7 coverings are earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, and Mahat Tattva, Pradhan. So he successfully, you know, he passes these 5, he pierces these 7 layers, and then finally he merges into Mahavishnu. And then he does not return to this earth planet. Okay. And that's how this, you know, this person, he gets actually liberation, right? He actually reaches the planet of the Supreme Lord. So, now, why does actually Shukdev Goswami describe this? Because in that particular assembly, there were some sages who were actually, you know, preferred that particular path. But then Shukdev Goswami gives his own opinion. That time, Shukdev Goswami had said in 2nd canto, chapter 2, he had said that the most auspicious path for those who are suffering in this material world is devotional service, which is actually producing prema. But Dhruva Maharaj, ultimately, when he is meditating, being an Ashtanga yogi, he still gets liberation and he still has what do you say? He still achieves the Lord's abode. So this is actually Dhyan Yoga, or you can say Krama Mukti also, because the Dhyan yogi, those who have no material desires, they actually meditate and they get direct mukti through Sat Chakra Yoga. And for others who have Krama Mukti, then they have gradual liberation. So this Krama Mukti is actually gradual liberation from this material world. Okay. So this is the explanation for the first shloka. If you all want, I will share this PDF and maybe you could take advantage of it. Okay. Now let's come to the second shloka.
Hare Krishna, Shobha Mataji, you can read the shloka. Varnali Sen Mataji, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Shloka number 18. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhaktim haro bhagavati pravahan ajasram anandha bhaspa kalaya muhuradhaya hadyamanah viklidya mana hridayah pulak achintango natmanam asmarat asav iti muktalingah. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Because of his transcendental bliss, Incessant tears flowed from his eyes, his heart melted, and there was shivering and standing of hairs all over his body. Thus transformed in a trance of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaja completely forgot his bodily existence, and thus he immediately became liberated from material bondage. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you Mataji. Danvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Shanti Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji.
Purport also, Mataji?
No, Mataji. Shanti Mataji will read. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Due to constant engagement in devotional service, hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping the deity, etc., as prescribed in 9 varieties, there are different symptoms which appear in the body of a devotee. These 8 bodily transformations, which indicate that a devotee is already liberated within himself, are called Ashta Sattvika Vikara. When a devotee completely forgets his bodily existence, he should be understood to be liberated. He is no longer engaged in the body. Mataji, what is it? That lower hand symbol is it? Only what is that, Mataji? That first word? Yeah. The example is given. Yeah. The example is given that when a coconut becomes completely dry, the coconut pulp within the coconut shell separates from the bondage of the shell and the outer covering. By moving the dry coconut, one can hear that the pulp within is no longer attached to the shell or to the covering. Similarly, when one is fully absorbed in devotional service, he is completely disconnected from the what is it, Mataji? Yeah, from the two material coverings, the subtle and gross bodies. Dhruva Maharaj
Actually,
attained this stage of life by constantly discharging devotional service. He has already been described as a Mahabhagavata, for unless one becomes a Mahabhagavata or a first class pure devotee, these symptoms are not visible. Lord Chaitanya exhibited all these symptoms. Thakura Haridasa, uh, Mataji, little up, Mataji. One second. Yeah, Thakura Haridasa also exhibited them, and there are many pure devotees who manifested such bodily symptoms. They are not to be imitated, but when one is actually advanced, these symptoms are exhibited. At that time, it is to be understood that a devotee is materially free. Of course, from the beginning of your devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens, just as the coconut taken from the tree immediately begins to dry. It simply takes some time for the shell and just little up, Mataji, and pulp to separate from one another. Mataji, want someone
Hare
else to read
Krishna,
or may I?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Shilpa Mataji can continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
An important word in this verse is Mukta Linga. Mukta means liberated, and Linga means the subtle body. When a man dies, he quits the gross body, but the subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego carries him to a new body. While the existing while existing in the present body, the same subtle body carries him from one stage of life to another, for example, from childhood to boyhood, by mental development. The mental condition of a baby is different from that of a boy. The mental condition of a boy is different from that of a young man, and the mental condition of a young man is different from that of an old man. So, at death, the process of changing bodies take place due to the subtle body. The mind, intelligence, and ego carry the soul from one gross body to another. This is called transmigration of the soul. But there is another stage when one becomes liberated even from the subtle body. At that time, the living entity is competent and fully prepared to be transferred to the transcendental or spiritual world. Should I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
The description of the bodily symptoms of Sri Dhruva Maharaj makes it apparent that he became perfectly fit to be transferred to the spiritual world. One can experience the distinction between the subtle and the gross bodies even daily in a dream. One's gross body is lying on the bed while the subtle body carries the soul, the living entity, to another atmosphere. But because the gross body has to be continued, the subtle body comes back and settles in the present gross body. Therefore, one has to become free from the subtle body also. This freedom is called as Muktalinga.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
thank you. So as I told, that destruction of the gross body is actually death, but destruction of the subtle body is actually liberation. And if you see over here, Dhruva Maharaj is experiencing some symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. So, the symptom, like the definition of Bhava Bhakti is only Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Surya Samo Samakbhag Ruchubis Chitta Marshanya Krid Aso Bhava Uchyate. So, it says over there that, let me share the whiteboard again so that I will be able to. Okay, you'll have to make me the host again. You'll have to make the.
host, Mataji.
Oh, but why am I not able to share the whiteboard then? Okay, okay. I was actually clicking the wrong one. What do you say? Button. Okay, so let's just little see about Bhava Bhakti. And we see Bhava Bhakti in the Nectar of Devotion also, the third wave. That this Bhava Bhakti the essence of Bhava is knowledge and bliss. And which two energies work? The Samvit Shakti and the Halladini Shakti work. Okay. Because that is why it's saying that Shuddha Sattva Vishesh Atma. Shuddha Sattva. And then he's saying that Prema Suryamshu Samyak Bhakah. So this Bhava is actually a ray of the sun of Prema. It's a ray of Prema. The ray of the sun of Prema, which will soon arise. As soon as somebody's attained Bhav, he will definitely achieve, or definitely Prema will arise in his heart, for sure. Right? And then he's saying that, because this is the definition of Bhava Bhakti, and then he's saying that Ruchibhis Chitta Mashrinya. So what happens is Ruchibhi, Chitta means the heart. What happens with Bhav? When Bhav comes, the heart softens. The heart softens, and it softens for whom? It softens for actually Krishna. So when Bhav softens, the heart with desires for attaining Krishna or pleasing Krishna, and to be friendly with Krishna. And then he's saying that Krit aso bhava uchyate. Such bhakti is called bhava. So, what is bhava? When it softens the heart with desires for Krishna, attaining Krishna, pleasing Krishna, and to be friendly with Krishna. And when the very first ray of prema sprouts from Bhava Bhakti. So you can say that Bhava Bhakti is the preliminary stage of prema, or the sprout of prema. And or you can say that a very few symptoms of ecstasy are seen, like hair standing or tears flowing from the eyes. But when a particular person reaches the prema level, then all these symptoms of ecstasy, then they manifest in 100% in prema stage. Okay. So, for example of Bhava Bhakti would be Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj, when he was meditating on the lotus feet, see, over here, Dhruv Maharaj is also meditating on, the lotus feet of the Lord and the whole form of the Lord. And Amrish Maharaj also, was meditating on the Lord's lotus feet. And he developed slight heart transformations of the heart, like, shivering and, tears in his eyes. We'll be seeing that in the 8th canto. And that is why this Bhava Bhakti is called Swayam Prakashah. Okay, I'm writing in Hindi, sorry, because I have a Hindi crowd more with me. It's conditioned to write Hindi, Swayam. It is self-revealing, and it appears to manifest by the mind, and it becomes the state of mind. It becomes actually a bhav. When I say na, it's actually an emotion. Emotion for the Supreme Lord. So, the nature of bhav is taste itself. What is the nature of bhav? The nature of bhav is taste. Right? And it also acts as a cause of tasting the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's form, and qualities. Nam, Guna, Roop, Leela. Okay, that way. And his associates also. So, and this only bhav, in the future stages, it will turn to Mahabhav and, all these stages, and so what is the difference between bhav and prem? So in prem, the heart will soften completely to 100%. In bhava, still, there are some, traces. Like, for example, in prema, if it is 100%, then in bhav, it might be like, 98, 99, that way, percentage. But in prema, the heart will soften completely. Now, somebody might ask that, okay, you're saying about bhav bhakti, but what will cause bhav bhakti? How will I attain bhava bhakti? What will I do to attain that bhava bhakti? So the cause of bhava bhakti, there are two things actually. One is sadhana, and the other is mercy of Krishna or his devotee. So in actually Sanskrit, sadhana abhinavesha is said. And there's the first cause. And the second cause is Krishna tat bhaktayo prasad. Either Krishna's prasad or mercy or the devotee's mercy. Now, these are the two causes for bhava. So through sadhana bhakti, you keep on, absorption in sadhana till the stage of nishtha and the previous association of great devotees, then that will cause. And the first way is a very normal way. The sadhana bhakti is a very normal way. And although we should actually expect and hope for Krishna's mercy, and we should not sit idly waiting for Krishna's mercy, but we must execute some sadhana bhakti or some sadhana for bhakti. Sometimes, somebody, like for example, somebody might receive some honorary degree from the university, without attending the school. But that doesn't mean that one should avoid school and expect to, automatically receive an honorary degree. That's not the way. So even this sadhana abhinavesh is of two types. One is arising from Vaidhi sadhana. And the other is arising from Rag Anuga sadhana. So when you say bhav arising from Vaidhi sadhana, Narad Muni, in the first canto, when we had seen that Narad Muni in the association of the Bhakti Vedantas, who mercifully actually, gave him the permission to hear Krishna Katha. And Narad Muni heard the topics of Krishna Katha and he became very attracted. He started developing ruchi. And by listening to them very attentively, then he started having asakti and uh, his bhav for Krishna appeared, right? And then prema appeared in him, and the coverings of this passion and ignorance and all, they kept on vanquishing. And in the association of devotees, Krishna Katha is pleasing to the ear and the heart. Only in the association of devotees, Krishna Katha is pleasing to the ear and the heart. And by this, one gradually develops Shraddha, Rati and Prem in the association duty. So when you do Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, you're doing Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, and Vedi Sadhana Bhakti in the association of devotees, Krishna Katha is pleasing to the ears and heart. And that's how one gradually develops Shraddha, faith, Rati, and then Bhava, and then Prema. Okay. So when it is said in the Bhagavatam, when somebody is so see, Rati and Bhavna are actually the same, okay? When I say Rati means only actually Bhav, okay? So, and that is why uh, when you say Bhav, just give me 1 minute, okay? So when I'm saying that Krishna Katha in the association of devotees is very beneficial, in the third canto, we have seen in the 25th chapter where he says, Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha tadjoshana sopavarga vartamane shraddharatir bhakti anukramishati. So there he's saying that when in the association of pure devotees, the pastimes of Krishna are discussed, that is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. So you can actually give over here 3.25.25 number shloka. And when somebody is cultivating such knowledge, that particular person, he becomes advanced on the path of liberation. And that is why he becomes very much fixed. And his real devotion actually starts from there. And the best example for this is our Narada Muni. He immediately, developed. So that's how, he gets this rati and bhav. Now let's come to Raganuga sadhana. Okay, this Raganuga sadhana is what? Bhav arising from Raganuga sadhana. One is bhav arising from Vedhi sadhana, and the other is bhav arising from Raganuga sadhana. Just like, you have a girl and she has a very joyful heart. She's eager to dance the whole night and please the Supreme Lord. And, she gets the grace of the Supreme Lord. She's dancing for the pleasure of the Lord and very spontaneously she wants to dance. So when she's dancing in front of the deity form of the Lord, she's actually getting mercy of the Supreme Lord. And that's how, because she's getting the mercy of the Supreme Lord, she develops rag, She develops a rag that is similar to the associates of Krishna, the gopis, the gopas, that way. And that particular rag, that the highest form of rag, which which somebody expresses for the Supreme Lord, or you can say that when this girl is dancing and she's dancing, while she's dancing, she's embracing Krishna, she is affection, and she thinks that Krishna is only my all in all. So this girl must be an expansion of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is the supreme lover. Of Krishna. Then what does Radharani do when she sees such a girl? She says that, hey, this girl, she has so much of attraction and affection for my Krishna. And she's embracing my Krishna and my Krishna is also enjoying. So Radharani thinks that let me make her my Sakhi. Let me make her, because when this girl reached the final stage, then Radharani says, okay, let me make her my Sakhi. And then Radharani thinks that she is non-different from me. Right? So that's how, that's how this is bhav arising from Raganuga sadhana. Because when somebody wants to really please Krishna, really wants, the aim of life only is to give pleasure to Krishna and not have anything in return, then actually, Srimati Radharani considers her non-different. Okay. So this is about, sadhana abhinivesha bhava. Now let's come up to the second bhav. That is Krishna Tat Bhaktyo Prasad. When somebody gets the mercy of Krishna. So when somebody, somebody gets that mercy of Krishna, or his devotee, then what happens? That actually bhav is arising by the mercy of Krishna only, or his devotees, without performing any sadhana bhakti. So now even then, this bhav arising from Krishna's mercy, they are of three types. One is vachika, that is mercy by words. The second is alokadanam. That is mercy by glance. Darshane pavitra kari ei tomar gun. Mercy by words means what? When a pure devotee, he gives you some instructions, he gives you some empowerment, he's giving the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Mercy by glance. Or sometimes mercy by glance means what? Pure devotees actually, come to give us darshan and they glance at us and we get mercy. Free mercy, they're distributing free mercy by their glances. Or even for Narad Muni, Krishna just showed him a glimpse or just a small glance, mercy by glance or by showing himself. Right? And then the third mercy is mercy harda. Actually, that mercy is called harda. You might wonder what are these complicated, words, but these are all Sanskrit words. And this harda is mercy by heartfelt wishes. Like mercy by heart means like Narad Muni told Vyasdev that, see, you have given birth to such a wonderful, great devotee like, Shukdev Goswami. He's a devotee son. Or, bhakti to Vishnu, has appeared within Shukdev Goswami's heart without any sadhana. So Shukdev Goswami developed bhakti by remembering the Lord while he was still in his mother's womb. By whose wishes? By the Lord's good wishes. Harda. So he has not seen the Lord nor heard his words and his words of blessing, but just by heartfelt wishes, right? So that's how, and even this Aloka Dan, when, if you see, the inhabitants of this Jangala province, saw Krishna, then their hearts melted and they could not take their eyes away from Krishna. So when they are glancing and Krishna is glancing at them, both the ways, and so completely, see, this Vachika is very strong, okay? And why Vachika is very strong, there is a science behind this. Just give me 1 minute. There is a science behind this. When a particular pure devotee is actually giving a class, right? So what is exactly happening? The pure devotees are meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And when the devotees, the pure devotees are meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, they are actually touching the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And when they get access to the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, through their words, they are actually sprinkling the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord on that particular audience. That is why you see how that whole, temple atmosphere becomes surcharged with only mercy for every devotee who's attending that particular class. So the devotees are meditating on the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. And this is what they are attracted to, or this is what they're attached to, the Lord's lotus feet. And that is why when they say no Bhakta Prasada, Bhakta Prasada Jaha. So when he's saying the mercy of the devotee, so it is bhava arising from devotee's mercy. So when I'm saying that bhava arising from devotee's mercy means what? Whenever you are seeing a pure devotee also, there are such loving, exchanges between you and that pure devotee. You are accessing that mercy, and that is where there are tears flowing from your eyes. Just by taking darshan of your spiritual master, just by taking darshan of this, pure devotee, immediately we have tears flowing from our eyes. Because, that is a bhav arising from that devotee's mercy. And his mercy is what? That he is giving us darshan. That is his mercy. His mercy is what? That he is actually giving us the highest rasa through the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is his mercy by his words. And see, even Narad Muni told Yudhishthira Maharaj that Prahlad, has unflinching faith in Krishna and his natural attraction for him. Narad Muni, who is the guru of Prahlad Maharaj, is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj. And that is why Narad Muni granted that favor to Prahlad Maharaj. And that rati or bhav is very natural, naisargiki. Through that mercy only actually Prahlad. So because, see, when Prahlad was in the womb of his mother, Narada had instructed Kayadu Bhakti, about Bhakti, And and he desired that that particular child also take advantage of the instructions of Narad Muni. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj, he developed all the characteristics of an advanced devotee. And even if you see in the case of Mrigari also, Parvat Muni is telling Narad Muni, he is saying that you are so glorious that by your mercy only and your good wishes, this hunter Mrigari, he attained bhava for Krishna. And there are so many, different, types of bhava. Because see, bhava is in Shantaras, in Dasyaras, in Sakhyaras, in Vatsalya or Madhurya Ras also this bhava is there. And in the nectar of devotion, it is said that this bhava has the person who has developed bhav, he has some characteristics. Like he will be, shanti, or he'll be tolerant, or he will, not waste his time. Avyartha kalatvam. Or he will have detachment. Detachment from material enjoyment, basically. And then he'll be prideless. But of course, these are all the qualities even Krishna is actually demanding us in the Bhagavad Gita. If you read the 13th chapter, 8th shloka onwards, Krishna is saying that these are all the symptoms dear to me. And then, he has taste for the holy name. And he has attachment also to Krishna. Attachment to Krishna or discussing Krishna's qualities. And he has love for what? He has love for Krishna's abode, Vrindavan. He has a lot of love. So that is why if you see, of course, he's Asha Bandha also. He has a hope also. Hope and confidence. In what? In Krishna's mercy. So anybody who has the developed bhav will have these qualities. And of course, I'm not going to go into the details of these qualities, but if you read the Nectar of Devotion, you can dive deep into these qualities, because when somebody is having taste for the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, and he is actually completely, shedding tears, like this honey is, dropping from that lotus, and he's anxiously chanting the holy names of the Lord. And he's saying, Krishna, Krishna, very sweet voice. He's actually calling out the Supreme Lord. And he has a lot of attraction for Krishna's qualities also. So that is why this bhava was developed by whom? This bhava was developed by actually Dhruva Maharaj. He attained this bhava stage, and once he attained this bhav stage, he was actually liberated. He immediately became liberated from this material bondage, and that is why he had this ashta sattvika vikar. He started crying, and he started, having goosebumps, and immediately Dhruv Maharaj jo hai, he actually became a very exalted devotee. And that is why he's saying Mukta Linga. He's completely liberated from his subtle body also. And he became completely liberated. So then, tomorrow whoever will be explaining you this particular 19th sloka, and he will be telling you that how this airplane came, and how the description of the airplane. I'll stop over here. If somebody has any queries, questions, doubts, you can ask me.
Hare Krishna Mataji, wonderful class, very, very deep knowledge today. Mataji, my question is that during the Kurukshetra war, except five Pandavas, the rest all were annihilated or they all died. But they were all, it was all Krishna's Leela, and they all got liberated. So, what is the difference between the liberation that the Pandavas got and the liberation that the Kauravas got? What is the difference? Meaning, where did the opposite, all those who fought from Kauravas side, where did they reach, Mataji? They also got liberated. So, what kind of liberation was that?
So see, you also know that there are 5 types of liberation, right? Salokya, Shashti, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sayujya. So the Pandavas, they actually got, this mukti, Sayujya mukti, merging into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. They did not get Salokya, they did not get Shashti, they did not get Samipya, they did not get Sarupya. They got Sayujya, that is the Ekatvam actually Mukti, that to merge into the impersonal Brahman. And because in this Sayujya Mukti, they are without service. They don't have any service over there. And they are, in that Brahma Jyoti for millions and millions of years over there. This is the type of mukti that the Kauravas got.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Mataji, I
Mataji.
have a
And the
question.
Pandavas, what mukti did they get? Because they got Krishna, right?
Yeah, see, Pandavas, they got actually they got, they got actually the residence, or they got samipya, to reside close to the Lord. They got samipya mukti. They'll be able to reside very close to the Lord. Samip means near the Lord or close to the Lord. This is the type of mukti that they got. They'll be residing very close to the Lord in Vaikuntha. Okay.
So they will be able to serve the Lord also.
Yeah, they'll be able to serve the Lord. Right.
And the Kauravas are into Brahma Jyoti, so they are not even getting to see the Lord.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anybody else has any queries?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. There are many raised hands.
You
Shall I?
can just call them out and they will be able to ask.
Yes, Mataji. Shobha Mataji, you can ask Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you. Mataji, like you told that Nishkam yogi is getting liberation, and so the liberation means destruction of the subtle body. So, Mataji, what I understood is, please correct me if I'm wrong, that when we are getting liberation, it is destruction of this, and when when a devotee goes back to Godhead, then it is pure by purifying this subtle body or destruction of this subtle body.
Yeah, means distraction means only the subtle body, whatever the desires it has, or whatever whatever impurities are there in that subtle body, it completely gets destroyed. And then actually he gets liberation and he goes back home, back to Godhead.
But
That is what.
subtle body in a purified manner goes.
Yes, the subtle body in a purified manner goes back home, back to Godhead. Yes.
Okay. And Mataji, these who are merging into the impersonal Brahman, the soul is still there. Soul is not destroyed still, no?
Yeah, soul can never be destroyed.
Yeah.
Gita says that the soul is never destroyed. The soul will remain in the Brahma Jyoti for millions and millions of years until unless a pure devotee like Narad Muni or somebody comes and gives association, and that's how they'll be able to come out from that impersonal Brahma Jyoti.
And then they come back to Earth again.
Earth planet. Then they'll come back to the Earth planet, and that's how again they will purify themselves and then go back home, back to Godhead through the process of bhakti.
Okay. And when Mataji, these 7 layers which you told, these devotees don't have to pierce themselves, but a yogi has to. Or
Anybody who's meditating on the Virat Roop, then he has to go through this Krama Mukti. But for us, we don't have this Krama Mukti at all. We are directly straight going back home, back to Godhead. Straight. We don't have to go through these all these lokas, Shishumar Lok or Mahar Lok or Brahma Lok. We don't have to go through all these lokas. We will straight actually, go back home, back to Godhead.
thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Then good pranams.
Hare Krishna. Sunila Mataji, you can ask Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Mataji, you were explaining that in Brahmaloka there is no old age, death and misery. But then Mataji, in Bhagavad Gita 8.16 it is said that Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Then why do they fall down, Mataji?
See, Brahma Loka is still in the material world. Brahma Loka is not in the spiritual world. Brahma Loka still, because Brahma himself is a jiva. Brahma is not actually, still liberated. He is higher than us for sure, because he possesses qualities and he is a purer devotee than us. And that is why in still Brahma Loka, there will be, death, birth, old age and diseases. Of course, old age and disease is not there, but still there is birth and death as such.
That means misery is there, no, Mataji?
Gross
Misery.
level, yes. Gross level misery is not there, but subtle level misery is there in Brahman.
Okay. Okay. Mataji, another question. You said, Mataji, yogis merge into Mahavishnu, that is Karnodaksai Vishnu. Right, Mataji?
Yes, Karnodakshay Vishnu. Absolutely.
Karnodaksai Vishnu. But he lies in between the spiritual world and the material world, right, Mataji?
Karnodakshay Vishnu?
Yeah, lies in between spiritual world and the material world, above the material world.
Yes, yes, yes.
But then the Mayavadis who merge into the Brahma Jyoti, that is a part of spiritual world, but below the Vaikuntha, right, Mataji?
Yes, 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 yes.
So they are above the yogis, Mataji, isn't it?
Mayavadis?
Who merge into that is Sayujya Mukti, who get Sayujya Mukti. But they also come down. But this yogis, they are in between, and that means they are below the Brahma Jyoti, na Mataji, because Krishna, Karnodaksai Vishnu is lying below the Brahma
Actually, what
Jyoti.
is happening? I think maybe a little confusion is there that the Mayavadis are only these yogis. These Mayavadis are only these yogis who actually are over there in that Brahma Jyoti. So yogi alag and Mayavadi, no, these are Mayavadi yogis only who are actually there into the Brahma Jyoti as such.
Okay, but those who are in merging with the Mahavishnu, they won't come back.
No, they do not return to this material world.
Okay.
They do not.
And Mataji, you said liberation means.
Bhagavatam, you can refer to Canto 2, Chapter 2, and Shloka number 31. There you will get a complete description of this, that they don't come into this material world again. You can write it down if you want. Chapter
Yes,
2.2.31.
Okay. Mataji, liberation means the mind, intelligence, and false ego will be destroyed.
Yes.
Will be destroyed. So when we go to Goloka, that means we won't be having any false ego, like, mind and intelligence.
We'll have true ego.
True ego.
We'll have true ego because true ego is I'm a servant of Krishna. We'll have true ego over there. And intelligence, over there we have full knowledge. Because our body is made up of Sat, Chit and Anand. So we'll have full knowledge that, that I am a servant of Krishna. I'm an eternal soul and I belong to Krishna. And I'm supposed to serve Krishna. I'm being created only to serve Krishna. My existence is only to serve Krishna. That way.
Okay. So Mataji, just a small question. Mataji, then the yogi's ultimate destination is just to achieve the merging with Mahavishnu, because they are meditating already on the Kshirodaksai Vishnu, right, Mataji?
Yes, they just want to merge. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is it okay, Mataji, to take one more question, Mataji? Two questions.
I have time.
Masuda Mataji, go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji. Today's class was very, very spoon-feeding class, I can tell. For like the small kids, you have spoon-feeded us. And today, my doubt is, Mataji, maybe I'm not sure it is correct to ask. Sorry for that. Because Dhruva Maharaj has already, he has got the darshan of Lord Krishna. And he has seen. So once the Lord, we see the Lord itself, he got liberated. And these two slokas again from Ashtanga Yoga was explained. How can we take it, Mataji? How can we understand?
Okay, from the Ashtanga Yoga point of view.
No, Mataji, before slokas, we heard that he got angry, Dhruva Maharaj, he went to forest taking the advices of his mother and Narada Muni.
He was a small child, yes.
After he did meditation, Lord has appeared and he touched the conscious everything. And once he got there itself, Dhruva Maharaj is liberated, no Mataji. Then again, today, two slokas are again related to liberation, Bhava and all. How can we take this thing, Mataji? Already Dhruva is liberated, no Mataji. So again, why should you? And he was blessed with Dhruva planet also. So why all these things? Again, it has been explained and has again he did this sadhana.
Yeah, see, this is actually the plan of the Lord, that the Lord through his devotees want to show that initially Dhruv Maharaj, when he was a child, he actually took the darshan of the Lord.
Hmm.
But still there were some traces. There were some traces of material enjoyment, and that is why he was given a chance to rule the world by the arrangement of the Lord. And now Krishna wants to completely purify him.
Oh,
And
complete.
because Krishna wants to completely purify him, that is why then whatever training he had taken before in Mahavan, then again the same thing he is continuing. Because see, when somebody is a king and he's ruling for 36,000 years, then very difficult to detach yourself from matter, right?
Okay.
There will be some traces of attachment. But over here, when he came to Badrika Ashram, when he got completely detached, completely his senses became purified, there were some traces of impurification still remaining. And then at the end, he came to Badrika Ashram, he completely purified his senses over there. And because he purified, that whole process he went through. And then all these symptoms of liberation were manifesting. And then immediately, as soon as he got liberated, then you'll see in tomorrow's class that there was an airplane coming and all. And he was completely absorbed, because when he was meditating on जब वो Ashtanga Yoga he was doing, he was completely absorbed in the thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, and his heart was completely full of Krishna. He was completely immersed into that form of the Supreme Lord, and that's how the Vishnu Dutas came to see him. I will take him. And because see, when he was 5 years old, he did a lot of many austerities, and he had satisfied also the Supreme Lord. And over there also, Vishnu Lok is very difficult. But because he had done so much of austerities, so he had actually, conquered the heart of the Supreme Lord. And that is why that time he had said, Krishna had said, you will come there. So already he had pleased that time also. Now he's pleasing more over here. And then, he reached to this Vishnu Loka. So you also know that he has a planet called
Yes.
Loka over there, So, Dhruv Maharaj was very clear, that uh, uh, for him, that clarity was there, that my goal is to achieve the Lord's lotus feet. And that's how he boarded that train. I'm saying, the plane, and he went.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. One last question, Mataji, from Srileka Mataji. Hare Krishna, you can go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Sorry for my voice, I'm not well. Mataji, I wanted to ask, you said Pandavas received Sayujya and the Kauravas received Samipya, right?
Yes.
So in Sayujya means Sa and Yujya means I will be useful to the Lord. That is what it means. So when we go and we will, as in our souls, not in this life, I don't know how many lives.
No, Sayujya does not mean actually Sa and Yujya. Sayujya
Okay.
means Ekatvam. Ekatvam means to be one with the Lord. Merge into that particular Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence that is coming out from the Supreme Lord's, body. That is merged into that is called Sayujya.
So where you talked about the Brahmavadis are also in that same effulgence.
Yeah, Brahmavadis also and the Mayavadis also. See, what is the difference between the Brahmavadis and the Mayavadis? Let's understand that also. Just give me 1 minute. I need to share the screen.
Thank you, Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada himself gives, okay, this difference between the Brahmavadis and the Mayavadis. In one of the give me 1 minute, I'll just share the screen with you. There's a conversation between Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. Brahmavadi means those who are aspiring to merge into the impersonal Brahman, effulgence. And Mayavadi means who remains fool forever. They have no knowledge of the Supreme Lord, of Vishuddha Buddhaya. Always they are impure. So see, this is a morning walk, and Rishikesh is asking, what is the difference between Brahmavadi and Mayavadi? That you already questioned, we answered. Vadi means those who are aspiring to merge into the impersonal effulgence. And Mayavadi, they do not attain the impersonal realization. Mayavadis remain fools forever. They never leave their material platform. Prabhupada, no, they do not. They have no knowledge. Avishuddha Buddhaya, impure, they are always. Otherwise, how they are thinking, I am the same as God. What is Mayavadi thinking? I am God, I am moving, I am the sun, I am that. So such rascals remain always ignorant. No sense that if I am the same, then why I have fallen down in Maya. They say it's my Leela. I have become a dog. So it is my Leela. I have become a dog. That's my Leela. This is the philosophy. So they are fools, mudhas. Maya aparita jnana. They have been, kidnapped. Maya aparita. Their knowledge has been taken away by Maya. And either you call them a fool or you call them the lowest of the mankind or the most sinful. Whatever we can, they are like that. So all good qualification, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned, Mayavadi bhashe shunile hoye sarna. If you hear from a Mayavadi, then your spiritual life is finished and that is dangerous. Okay, Mataji? Srila Prabhupada himself is answering. Some more clarification you want on this?
No, Mataji, thank you so much. My only thing is because everyone is merging there, it's just that the number of the journey is different. That's what I understand.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna, Mataji. It was so wonderful, Mataji. So depth knowledge, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Not able to digest. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Shall we end with the prayer, Mataji? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the deity. Thank you.
Thank you.